Hello Star Wars fans, and welcome to my first ever Star Wars video. I've been wanting to make these for quite some time now, but I finally feel like I have a theory that is good enough to be in a video, so I'm hoping that everyone is excited about this one as I am. So, let's get into it. I want to go ahead and immediately preface with the fact that this is going to dive into spoilers for the end of Season 2 of Mandalorian, so if you haven't watched that yet, first of all, what are you doing? Go ahead and watch it right now. Second, then come back and watch this video. Tell me if you agree with this theory or not. So, the only other thing to preface with is this is absolutely going to get into very opinion-based territory in the sense of if you are a fan of the sequel trilogy, you might not exactly be in line with what I'm about to be saying here. If you're someone who feels like they could have done better, then I think this will definitely be for you. So, the theory in all of this is I feel like how we could potentially be seeing a separate timeline within the new shows that are coming out onto Disney+, essentially the whole future of the Star Wars universe. Now what I mean by this specifically is, no, not necessarily time travel, but kind of. Now hear me out though. This is not something that is a made-up idea by me. I'm not saying that they should make some ship that can time travel. What I'm really getting at is something that's already been established. Now, this draws back to the animated show Rebels. So if you haven't seen that show, also go ahead and check that out. Specifically, Season 4, Episode 13, which is called A World Between Worlds. And within that episode, we see the main character, or one of the main characters, Ezra Bridger, who's a Jedi, and goes through this portal of sorts and gets taken to a trippy, voided, space-like area, to say the least. And within this place, there's essentially just kind of a walkway to different portals, and all these other portals are different points in time. Now, we don't really get to see a lot of them, except for the one that he gets drawn to, which he does get drawn to because he sees Morai. Which, quick little side note, Morai is the owl that follows Ahsoka around. Right, so we actually see Morai briefly in episode 5 of the second season of Mandalorian. There's a spot where you see Ahsoka kind of going through the woodsy-ish area, and there's a tree branch that has Morai on there real quick. Very nice little nod there. Morai is the daughter. The daughter is the embodiment of the light side of the Force. Now that's something that if you want to get into the depths of that, go watch Clone Wars. I get it. There's a lot of homework to be done about this theory here, but this all does add up to something that I think would be a really cool turnaround. So now with all that taken into consideration, he sees Morai and he goes over to this portal, and within that portal, Ezra sees a battle taking place between Ahsoka and Darth Vader, which took place earlier in the Rebel show. So when he's seeing this go down, that's originally where we saw the last of Ahsoka, and it was kind of hard to tell what happened to her afterwards. Wasn't sure if that was the end of her or not. Well, within that battle, when something seems like it's about to go awry, to say the least, Ezra literally reaches into the portal, unknowingly realizing he would be able to help out, and actually grabs Ahsoka and saves her by pulling her back through the portal into this weird space-like area that he is. Now, when he does that, he pulls her from that timeline. And what my theory really boils down to here is, I believe that potentially that timeline that Ahsoka was in when she was fighting Vader before Ezra pulled her out, I'm theorizing that that timeline is the timeline that eventually turns into episodes 7, 8, and 9 as we know it. However, I feel like him pulling Ahsoka out of there created an alternate timeline, right? Same tree, different branches, if you will. And I feel like that's what's going to allow us to go into a different direction in these new shows, see different iterations of the same characters, such as a Luke that doesn't become a hermit and actually does rebuild the Jedi Order, and where we also can potentially start to see new characters that weren't introduced at all before. And I really feel like that the cherry on top of everything here would be if they had it where eventually down the line, whether it be in a season of Mandalorian, or if we end up getting a show that's all about Luke training Grogu and, training other Jedi, if we eventually see Han and Leia, and they mention that they're having a kid. And when Luke goes to meet his new nephew, instead of being introduced to Ben Solo, they introduce Jason Solo. And for any of you that don't know, Jason Solo is Han and Leia's son from Star Wars Legends. So basically, the stories that were made before Disney took things over and de-canonized them, if you will. Well, it seems like Mandalorian's already been grabbing a lot of details from Legends already. Per example, they took the story of Jango being a foundling, which was originally Legends, and I guess now is canon, thankfully. So if they are already going down that road, this seems like a perfect way to capitalize on that. And now we would actually get to see the formation of a new Jedi Order, the way that I think we all really wanted to see in the beginning. It would give a perfect opportunity that when we do see Ezra inevitably return, I imagine that's going to take place in the Ahsoka show, that he will be able to join up with Luke and continue to build up this Jedi Order. Heck, we might even be able to get a chance to see Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order come into play and also work alongside with them. Could you imagine how insanely awesome that would be to see Luke, Ezra Bridger, and Cal Kestis all together rebuilding the Jedi Order? I mean, I don't feel like I need to really say much more. That's just exciting enough in itself, the thought of it. So, tell me what you guys think down below, right? Leave a comment. Do you think this theory actually has some potential legitimacy to it and we could see this happen? Or do you feel like, that's just kind of a bunch of a mess and it's a great what-if story, but I don't really see that happening? I do see where it would cause some friction amongst the fan base, but to be fair, they've kind of already done that with the sequel trilogy in total. So I do think this would be their completely legitimate way to fix everything. Remember, that whole story of pulling people out of timelines is not me. That's already canonized in the Rebel show. I'm basically just taking an opportunity of what if we can expand upon that? What if that small detail within that animated show actually led to us potentially having a brand new alternate Star Wars timeline? Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Like the video if you enjoyed this theory and you want to see more. Subscribe as well. And until next time, may the Force be with you.